I recently commented on an observation that I had made about some anti-feminists online.
Oh really, Jenny? Pray tell, what is it this time?
Discussing the fact that they have Asperger's syndrome.
And you know exactly how many people who are anti-feminist have Asperger's syndrome. You know that there's some kind of weird link between a social disorder and a political point of view, or social point of view. Doesn't matter what it is, does it? You, in your head, I've thought about this maybe for about 5 minutes, knowing you, that there is a link between Asperger's and anti-feminism. Really? Really? Pray tell again.
I know that with all the bullying that goes on here on YouTube, that a comment like this can be seen as prejudicial.
Oh yeah, especially since a person like you, who just won't stop going on about how bullied and victimised she is on YouTube. But it's okay for you to go and basically label loads of anti-feminists as Asperger's or autistic. Because you think they are, because they're anti-feminists. Or you've met a few, like us, who are, got Asperger's. We have Asperger's. And you come to the conclusion that there's some kind of link and that most of them have got Asperger's. Yeah, it is kind of prejudicial in many ways. But please, do go on.
Or dehumanizing and dismissing the ideas of a person based on their disability.
But you don't know if they have this disability in the first place, do you? So it is all about dismissing our ideas, isn't it, Jenny? Autism and Asperger's is used a lot on the internet nowadays to dismiss someone because they have a point, or because maybe they said something that somebody doesn't like, or somebody thought they can take the piss out of. You're doing this, you're doing that. You might not know it, or maybe you do know it, because you are a crafty bugger sometimes. You are dismissing our arguments and just saying, oh, they're just autistic, they just got Asperger's, they don't know any better.
Rather than merely an observation.
And this is merely just an observation, isn't it, Jenny? It's merely an observation. It's not some kind of standard Jenny McDerp hit piece that you and Bewildered Ape have concocted together. Yeah, we know he's your ghostwriter. But you know what? I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, because I do know one thing. You're always honest, aren't you, Jenny? Always honest. Yeah.
Cyberbullies often taunt one another by using the term spurg in the pejorative sense, and I myself have been called autistic by those who fail to understand the topic I'm discussing or my viewpoints.
Oh, but it's totally fine when you do it, eh? You're just going to go ahead and call a load of us spoilers people. I wish I could tell you who they were, but that would be spoiling it, wouldn't it? You're going to go around and tell them that they're spurgs. You're going to call them spurgs and autistic and whatever because they're anti-feminist. See, it's another rule for me and another for thee, isn't it, eh, Jenny? Isn't it? It's just so funny. It's so funny. We get this all the time with you. We get this all the time. But, you're the victim, so that makes it alright. Okay.
It's because taunts like this are so prevalent that discussion of people who suffer from Asperger's also being anti-feminist has been ruled out.
It's not been ruled out. It's not relevant. We do not judge people based on what's going on in here in terms of any psychiatric disorder or a social problem or a cognitive syndrome like what Asperger's is, a cognitive development issue. What matters is the ideas, what you're saying to people. I know it's all mental, so it's kind of getting all confusing for you people, but we don't judge people on their disabilities, we judge them on their ideas. What she's doing is judging them based on their disability. There is no argument to be had about whether or not people who are anti-feminist may be Asperger's. There's no argument here. It's an excuse to make a hit piece on some anti-feminist that she doesn't like. This is all it is, people. This is all it is. So just sit back, relax, laugh, and spurg out if you do not find it funny, because that'll just piss her off. So, take it away, Jenny.
And this caused me to reflect on the ways that politically correct culture can limit speech and the expression of ideas in certain cases.
she's just saying political correctness limits free speech. It really is just cognitive dissonance and just picking an argument when it suits her, isn't it? This is what we've been saying for years. And now she's just used it in a hit piece because I don't know why. What has she got against political correctness all of a sudden? I thought she was a massive fan of that. I guess, you have to take away that barrier in order to get at someone who's got Asperger's, because then it would be ableist, wouldn't it? Eh?
For example, this one, where an observation was made about a common occurrence in this community, i.e. people suffering from AS.
Citation needed. You don't know if it is a common occurrence in our movement. You don't even associate with us. You block us. You delete us. When you talk to us, it's only when you're being a horrible cunt on our comment sections because we said something that you don't like, or we've replied to you and you don't like what we have to say about you. That is literally all you ever do when you talk to us. You do not talk to us as friends. You do not talk to us as acquaintances. You don't. All you do is shit talk us and talk shit about us, and yet now you think Asperger's is a common occurrence in our movement. How do you know that when you don't talk to us? When you do not experience our shit? You do not know this! And yes, I am spurging out. Who cares? I can say that word. You can't. Neurotypical.
Also having a difficult time making connections regarding the need for feminism as a political movement.
What's the matter? Your own censorship laws are beginning to bite you in the ass, eh, Jenny? Or are you just making an excuse? I don't know. I don't care. I'm just going to debunk it.
The comment I made was that grown men and teens with Asperger's joined Gamergate to fight for ethics in gaming journalism.
So did people who do not have Asperger's. Some who have no mental condition whatsoever joined it. In fact, they're the majority. They're the majority. We're a minority. We're an incredibly small minority of the population. As much as the anti-vaxxers would have you believe, we're incredibly small. I mean, there's more men than there are women who have it, but hey, whatever. The fact remains that loads of different people joined Gamergate, and we didn't join it because we had Asperger's, like you want us to believe. We joined it because, as you said, we wanted ethics in games journalism. But that has nothing to do with this, because not all Gamergaters are anti-feminist. But next, whatever, Gryffix, Spino, have you got anything?
Certainly not all adults with Asperger's or high-functioning autism have tendencies towards paranoia, and even those that do have varying degrees of paranoia.
This seems like a very cherry-picked thing from someone who's trying to explain what Asperger's is. Look, maybe we do suffer from paranoia. Maybe we do not. Maybe some Asperger's people don't have time to be paranoid. This proves nothing. What is this?
Let me explain what I mean. Asperger's individuals have what we call mind blindness. And to oversimplify the meaning of that, they simply do not pick up on nonverbal cues. For example, how something is said, the way it is said, and the body language behind what is being said.
I don't know about you guys, but I find this incredibly creepy that she's basically got this guy talking. She's downloaded the MP3 of this guy's video and basically put it over Anita Sarkeesian videos. What the fuck? Why is this there? Why not just get the guy's video and credit him? I don't understand. And she's basically telling us facts that a lot of people know about it. Why didn't you just say this within just a minute or two? Instead, she has to just clutter the video with this bullshit and put it against Anita Sarkeesian footage. As if she's trying to say something like, oh, the paranoid of feminists and people who are stealing their games, excuse me, and all that bullshit. Is this what she's trying to do? Is this some kind of, like, I don't know, it's montage or something, I think, but not the American style. This is Russian Soviet style montage, where the montage has a meaning rather than just the expression of time passing. I don't think she even knows what that means, but that's what it looks like. She's trying to say, look, this is what Asperger's can be and what it is, because not all Asperger's people have that paranoia, but we do have, I think, universally, that mind blindness. I've never heard it referred to like that, but A lot of people do have that at varying degrees. Some can pick up on cues more than others. But I still don't understand what that has to do with anything. This is creepy with this footage. I don't like it.
Since the Asperger's individual does not pick up on subtle cues, they often misinterpret another person's motives. In other words, why the other person is saying what they're saying, or why the other person is doing what they're doing. So when another person does something or says something, the Asperger's individual may become confused and try to make sense of the other person's words or behavior. Unfortunately, too often when the Asperger's mind does not understand another person's motives, that mind will tend to put a negative spin on things.
Guys, is she trying to say that maybe, just maybe, the fact that we don't always get all the cues means that we're misunderstanding feminism? I just don't know what to say about this. It's just fucking crazy. Look, sometimes we'll put a negative spin on things, sometimes we won't. But when it's glaringly obvious to us, logically obvious to us, that something like your ideology is toxic and dangerous, of course we're going to put a negative thing on it, because it is negative by its nature. She's trying to say that we misunderstand it because we've got Asperger's. That's why we're anti-feminists. That's what she's trying to say, isn't she?
In other words, this person said this or did this to hurt me, to be critical of me, to insult me, to put me down. But if the truth be known, in the vast majority of cases, the other individual who said something that was supposedly hurtful or critical didn't mean to be hurtful or critical at all.
I don't know about you, but that's actually, in my life, kind of a slight minority. About 49% of all cases it was and is a misunderstanding, but in the vast majority of cases in my life, that was 51%. They were meaning it in a negative way. That's generally why most Asperger's people think it's negative, because all they get is negativity. This video doesn't help that. And not the man's video, obviously. That's just my personal experience, and I shouldn't use that, but whatever, people. You want to know what it's like? I'll tell you what it's like. For me. But the fact remains is, she's trying to make you think that because we've got Asperger's, we don't understand the ideology. We don't understand its motives, its means, etc., etc. We don't understand because we've got Asperger's. We're just misinterpreting it. When what this man is talking about is just human interaction. He's not on about politics or stuff like that. He's not talking about social issues. He's talking about social interaction. That's what the man's talking about. She's cherry-picked him and using him to say what she could be saying herself, but she won't because she's a coward. And if she said it, she would be an arsehole now, wouldn't she? Hey, Jenny.
Then, all too often, the Asperger's individual, who is now making an assumption that the other person was trying to be harmful in some way,
it's ironic, guys. She's the one making the assumptions, not us.
Comes back with his own insults and criticisms as a way to defend himself based on perceived threats by the other individual. What can then happen in this case is the other person, whose intentions were of the best initially, now feels attacked, an unprovoked attack, and reacts with true criticism, sarcasm, or put-downs. Now the other person's behavior is not well-intentioned. He feels like he's on the receiving end of an unprovoked attack.
Spino, Gryffix, anything, because it seems to me like she's arguing that we just have misinterpreted an argument and now we're attacking them unprovoked somehow, even though me and Spino are getting attacked for being people with dicks, and apparently that's just a misinterpretation. What do you think?
And defending himself initiates a counterattack, which in turn affirms in the Asperger's mind that the other individual was out to get him from the start. In other words, now the Aspie has evidence that the other person was trying to be hurtful.
I hate that word. So it's all just a big misunderstanding, is it, Jenny? Really? Are you attacking my friends and doxing them and false flagging them? That was just a big misunderstanding, was it?
This is something I didn't explain much in the video.
Because then it will just belie your true intentions and make you look like an arsehole, saying that we're paranoid, we've misunderstood what you're saying because you're a victim and we're the ones that are at fault for interpreting what you're saying and what you did to my friends. Yeah, you look like an arsehole if you did that. So you use somebody else, take him out of context, and use him for your own argument. Fantastic.
But have discussed in the comments for a while now, so for those that this was new to, it was a little shocking and hurtful.
Right. Shocking and hurtful. You've discussed it in the comments, now you've made it a video. Classic Jenny.
This comment I made about those with high-functioning autism hurt those that have AS, and some thought that the comment was an insensitive jab.
So you made a comment about high-functioning autism. Did you by any chance label us all as the same? Did you insult someone with it? Oh wait, yes you did. On Twitter, you have regularly been using Spurg to attack me. I've seen it. You've been attacking me with a little sock puppet account of yours going, Spurg, Spurg. And even on your own account, you're going Spurg at me, as if that's going to offend me. You do realise I use that word, right? And that is what I am, and I'm not going to get offended by that, nor am I going to be insulted by it. And you can't bully me that way. That is why you're making this video, isn't it? And why you've made this little part of the video, because you're trying to say that, oh no, I simply wasn't trying to offend you, I was just bullying you. Please, stop victimising me.
That don't have AS. Another result was that more anti-feminists that have AS came to tell me I was a stupid feminazi cunt.
Did you know they had Asperger's? Did they tell you they had Asperger's? Did the ones who did tell you do that because they had Asperger's? No. Because you are a feminazi cunt. That's why they did it. You were being a cunt towards people with autism, or calling people who probably didn't have it anyway, that they had autism, as a pejorative, as an insult, and they called you out on it. And now you're the one who's being bullied.
The thing I find odd is that most outspoken anti-feminists find it completely okay to call feminists retards in the titles of their videos or in everyday content.
You do realise you just conflated Asperger's with retardation, right? You do realise they're two completely different medical problems. You've literally just called every single person on the spectrum a retard. I don't know whether or not that was intentional or not, but that's what you've done. You literally just grouped us all in with people who can't function on a mental capacity. They just can't function. We can, most of us can function to a certain extent. And even the ones who are high functioning are at least able to function moderately better than people who suffer from retardation, because retardation is an actual medical condition. They don't have that. They have something completely different. It's a social cognitive thing. That is something altogether different. And you've just done that. You've just conflated us all together. That is actually ableist. I don't like using that word. I hate it, but I'm using it now because that is ableist. And you're trying to say that because we use these words as an insult, that makes us hypocrites? No, it doesn't. Because we're calling someone stupid. Retard has different meanings. It can mean you're stupid. It can be someone who suffers from that. You do realise words have different contexts and meanings, right, Jenny? You do realise that? And besides, what if I use it? Am I a hypocrite, or am I just using a word that I can use because of my disability? You know, kind of like how a black person can say the N-word. What say you?
It could be said that the insults are deemed relevant in attacking ideas they disagree with, but hit a little too close to home when it comes to discussing their own mental health.
You don't even know if we have Asperger's or other mental health issues at all. You do not know that. You're asserting. You are asserting. This is literally a straw man at this point.
I feel bad for hurting anyone's feelings, and this honestly was not my intention in making this comment.
Oh, stop bullshitting. You don't give a crap when it's us, when you're using those words. You don't care. You've never cared. We know you. You were insulting people on Twitter and in the comment sections. You do that all the time.
My intention was to discuss something that no one is willing to discuss.
Because there's nothing to discuss. Nothing. You are just using ad hominems to create an argument. That's all you're doing. It would be one big ad hominem. That's all it would be, and that's what you need. It's a distraction from your horrible activities on YouTube.
And that is whether or not there is some connection between what a person with AS goes through, particularly males, and a mistrust of women or a lack of understanding of their role historically.
You do realise that academically, people with Asperger's are far better, on average, than people who don't have it. It's not a problem with us determining what a woman's role is in history, or what women's role in general was in history. I've got the bloody degree for it. I've got the degree. I have no problem with that. That's not my issue. That's just you asserting. You are clueless. You have not done any research whatsoever. I doubt you've even watched that guy's video properly. I bet you skimmed through it and found a bit you thought, oh, that'd be good. Or maybe Bewildered Ape watched it and said, hey, use this bit. I'm just asserting, of course.
In making this comment, I was made aware of more sufferers of AS on the anti-feminist side than before.
If you truly cared about our suffering, you would not be using it as an insult to people like me now, would you? So stop the faux sympathy and the faux empathy, alright? You do not give a rat's ass about us.
Which made me feel it was time to discuss this topic further.
This is not a topic. This is an ad hominem. This is a hit piece. This is all this is. What do you think, guys?
Originally, I was only speaking of the extremely vocal few anti-feminist aspies who make YouTube videos.
I refuse to give you permission to use that word. Do not use that word. I know what people say, like, you can't tell her what you can and cannot say. Hey, if we're going by the rules of society, Aspie is my word. And I could tell her that she will not be allowed to use that word. If I can't use other epithets or nicknames like that, then she can't use that because she's not got Asperger's, as far as I'm aware. So, I'm going to take it back. I'm not going to give you that card of permission, Jenny. Do not call us that, because that's just further making us more like the other in your quest to destroy us. As if we weren't already others anyway. I mean, we're an extreme vocal minority or something. Actually, there's more of us than you, but never mind. Shh.
Okay, one last time. This is feminism. This is your brain on feminism.
I don't even know which YouTuber that is. I don't even know if that guy's got Asperger's or not. What do you guys think? I don't know this guy.
I know what you're thinking. Surely that's a mistake, and SJWs wouldn't just invite someone who didn't know anything about their politics. Wrong, they did. He actually thought he was a third-wave radical feminist, not understanding that third wave is just the third wave of the mainstream feminism, and radical is just not that. We have known for some time now that these people just use feminism to promote their twisted agendas.
Well, I know that's Oz. Why is she blurring us all out? Why? Doesn't make sense. And why was she using eggs before? Unless that was the guy's video. I don't know. But Oz doesn't have Asperger's. He told me. He doesn't have it. Again, you're just asserting and insulting us based on things that you think we have, Jenny. Okay? Argument. That is a statement. That is a statement used for an argument. Feminism is sexist, and here's why. It could be sexist towards men. It could be sexist towards women. It doesn't really matter. The point is, it's a statement. It is not an argument. You use a statement, and then your argument proves how feminism is sexist. That's not how someone debates and argues, girl. I think you really ought to know that.
No, it's not! I'm Ellie, and this is a short video on why men need feminism.
Oh, you're serious? Feminists have butchered the meaning of the word oppression. They've overused it so much and applied it to pretty much everything, to the point where it means I can't have my cake and eat it too, which is a sad thing, but I can't be expected to take someone seriously when they use the word oppression so flippantly.
Oh, it's Spino. Oh, arbiter of truth, tell me more. Why is she even blurring out the videos? We can tell who it is anyway. Most people just use their voice, and we can clearly see the trademark crappy aviators. Oh, sorry, Spino. Didn't mean to insult you. Please, don't attack me. I'm sorry for being ableist.
Now, I hope everyone understands that I am not making the assumption that all 1.5 million people who have AS are anti-feminist. And I also know that this entire video is going to come off as ableist, but I think this discussion is worth having.
We know you don't mean every single person who has Asperger's. But what you're saying is that most Asperger's people who are anti-feminist are doing it because of their Asperger's. This is not a topic. This is not an argument. You know what? I'm getting my mate in. He'll tell us.
You know this is going to come across as ableist, yet you make it anyway. What was the point in you making this video if you knew this was going to come across as prejudice? It seems to me the whole point of this video is because you do not like these people that you mentioned who you think have autism or Asperger's, whatever. You do not like them. And that's why you made this video. It is patently obvious to see. You are not very nice, and I do not like you.
In an article published in the Journal of Developmental and Physical Disabilities, AS is an autism spectrum disorder mainly characterized by impairments in social interaction due in part to deficits in theory of mind and empathy.
We know what we suffer from, Jenny. Please, just get on with the video so I can just relax for a bit.
After the school shooting in Sandy Hook, Connecticut, discussion of a connection between violent behavior and those with AS blew up as information was revealed that the shooter, Adam Lanza, was diagnosed with AS at 13.
He didn't do it because he had Asperger's. He did it because he's mentally deranged as well. He did it because he was depressed. He had loads of different issues. The Asperger's was not the reason why he killed people. What? So now you're comparing us to a spree shooter? And you wonder why we will not like this? This is what you're comparing us to. This is a hit piece.
Parents everywhere worried that their children would be discriminated against in schools after this information was publicly revealed.
Like you're doing now, but you can't see the irony, can you?
And there have been many studies that have failed to find a link between violent behavior and AS.
Why are you bringing this up? What has this got to do with anti-feminism? Are you just going to compare us to spree shooters and say, this is what you're supporting, spree shooter type people? Really? Or are you just saying that's what we are? This isn't making any sense. This is completely irrelevant.
So far, studies have shown that those with AS who have committed some sort of violent crime also tend to be afflicted with other mental disorders which lead to that violent behavior.
Which is what I said, Jenny. What has this got to do with your point that there's a link between Asperger's and anti-feminism? If anything, this is not proving anything. This is just bullshit. This is a non sequitur.
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm 26 years old and I have Asperger's syndrome, and these are my top 10 Asperger traits that you may find helpful. Number 1, sometimes when I'm nervous or concentrate, I flick my fingers and I don't even know I'm doing it. 2, for me, is change in routine. So if I've got something in my head that we're going to do or I'm going to do, and something comes in the way of it, I get really upset, and nervous are really important to me, as in I like eating maybe a small selection of foods. I don't like anything with any sauces or anything. I can't have the sauce texture in my mouth.
You could explain all of this on your own, but you're using other people's videos. That is just fucking wasting my time. I already know this shit. I already know it. I live it. I don't need to know this shit. But for the purpose of the video, everybody has to see it. Because again, you're using it to attack us, but you can't attack us with this, because what makes us the way we are and makes us partly intelligent, maybe, these traits. These are just things that we have, that it's like an OCD thing. Loads of people have it anyway. It's not even an Asperger's thing. Like, oh, I can't eat this shit because I don't like its texture. That's not necessarily an Asperger's thing, but whatever. I'm moving on. What do you guys got? Fuck this.
Smells are quite a bad thing, and some certain smells make me really annoyed. Certain noises and sounds can really affect me. Only slightly, only sometimes, only certain noises and certain sounds, and it's really sharp and it goes right into my brain, and I can't concentrate and I get really annoyed, super annoyed, and sometimes I just kind of lash out in anger because that noise annoys me so much I can't deal with anything else, like everything gets shut down just because that noise pierces everything.
Nothing to do with anti-feminism though, does it? Nothing at all. God. Oh, guys, help me, this is getting too much.
Number 6, A lot of people with Asperger's syndrome tend to get quite involved in a certain topic of interest, and for me this is definitely true, and I have a topic of interest with social, economic and global economic issues involving conspiracy theories and UFOs, and I know everything there is to know about it in great detail, and I can remember everything that I read about it.
Now that is in there for a reason, people. That is in there because she knows, doing her terrible 5-minute research, of course, that this is what we have. We do have issues and subjects that interest us greatly, and we get, some people call it obsessions. I prefer to call it a passion. An obsession is something that doesn't last very long, at least in my life experience. I know some people I know will disagree with me on that, but an obsession for me was when I was a kid. I was into volcanology and shit. That's gone now. A passion is something to do with like history, music, a certain band that I like. I've liked them for nearly 10 years now, New Order. People thought that was going to be an obsession. Well, I'm still here, and I bought their new album. But hey, who cares? That's just explaining these things. Now, what do you think she's going to do here? Is she going to use this trait to beat us with, like a stick, and say, look, this thing, Asperger's people have this, therefore, anti-feminism. Anti-feminism is not an obsession nor a passion of mine. It's just something that I have come to over a long-term amount of research. So, whatever. Let's just move on. The others might have something. What do you have, Arbiter of Truth and Secular Duchess?
Some with AS claim that they feel a deep frustration at not understanding the world by, quote, normal standards.
We all feel this way, but you don't care about that. So stop the false sympathy and come with the attacks. Come on. I hate this. I prefer it when you're more direct.
This frustration can lead to small fits of rage, but rarely go beyond that.
Citation needed. You do not know that. If you want to know, it used to make me feel very depressed when I was a kid. Not angry and not full of rage. I am not full of rage because I've got Asperger's. It just makes me depressed occasionally. Not so much now, as I have learnt to deal with it and live with it. But you're trying to make this out that we're all angry, hate-filled individuals who are after women because we can't understand them, even though we can't understand men half as much either. But that's besides the point. You're trying to make it out that we're angry individuals looking for guidance and feminism is the thing that we need. Is that right? Or are you just trying to say, this is what these people are like, don't listen to them. They're evil, horrible retards. They're spurgs. They're crazy. Is this what you're trying to say? I don't know. I wonder what Gryffix has to say about this.
My name is Danny Rady. I was diagnosed with Asperger's when I was 12, and I'm the co-founder of Asperger Experts. And in this video, I'm going to show you the missing link to motivate someone with Asperger's. A lot of our clients and a lot of our customers and a lot of the people that are on Facebook message us every day and go, I don't know what to do. My kid isn't motivated. They're just in their room all day. They're on the internet. They're playing video games. They don't want to do anything. It's a struggle to get them to do homework or to get them to do chores or go out in the world. And I'm at my wit's end. What do I do?
All kids do this. Is she now trying to say that we're neckbeard fedora wearers who sit around in our chairs and go on the internet and play video games? Right, okay, whatever. But I am learning guitar, so you can't put that on me just yet. Ha ha!
The trick is this right here. We call this the sensory funnel, and this is how Asperger's works. So at the top you have the executive, the social, and the emotional skills. The problem is that's where most people focus on, and that is the last place that you should focus. On the bottom we have the sensory awareness and focus, and that is really where your focus and your attention and your energy needs to be put. Because here's the thing. The root of Asperger's is that we are overwhelmed and scared. It is not that we don't want to be motivated. It's not that we don't want to get out in the world. It's not that we don't want to make friends. It's that we are scared and terrified.
Wrong. Some may feel scared and terrified. I do not feel scared and terrified. Maybe I just feel like being lazy. Sometimes. Or a lot of the time. I don't know. We ought to ask people that know me. But that is kind of not something I would do. I would try and teach someone who had Asperger's to be better socially, to all these things. Yes, of course, I would also concentrate on the other side, but that's besides the point. All that other shit is not relevant to what she's trying to say. It's the scared and the lack of motivation thing. She's trying to make us look like the stereotypical nerds. She's trying to make it look like we can't function and that we've been brainwashed and for some reason, I don't know, turn towards this movement because we've got the Asperger's. That's what she's trying to say. I'm sure the others have something easier to say.
How do heterosexual men with Asperger's typically see women?
Here's the crux of the argument, people. This is it. This is what she's been trying to get to for the last 10 minutes or something, which has made me waste 30 minutes of my life. This is what she's here for. She's here to demonise heterosexual men who have Asperger's. She's demonising us. She's doing the standard feminist thing here. She doesn't know how we view them individually, but she's going to collectivise us, she's going to generalise us, and we're basically going to be called sexist now, aren't we? Just because we're bad socially doesn't mean we don't think them as our equals. I think most people with Asperger's probably don't care. They probably just think, yeah, they're my equal. Why should I care about what they about women or men or whatever? Like, I just want to do my thing. I don't know. Gryffix!
According to some, romantic relationships with women can be difficult as mind blindness, the inability to understand what others think and feel, can make body language cues unreadable.
Not unreadable, difficult to read, and a lot of people have made it work. It's not impossible for me to go out and find a girlfriend if I wanted to, but I don't want one at the moment. And yes, I know what you're thinking, I am sexually active, if that's what you mean. But the point is, it's not about this shit. She's trying to make out like she's some kind of therapist. She's not. She's doing the virgin argument. You know what feminists like to say about MRAs, that they're just a bunch of neckbeard, fedora-wearing virgins who are sat around in their parents' basement, unable to socialise with people. That's what she's doing. She's insulting us. But I don't know about you. I think Spino and Gryffix probably know more. What do you guys think? Spino?
In some cases, this leads to men with AS becoming intimidated of women on dates, which can lead to failure to form romantic relationships.
Some are, but not all. Some of them are crazy, like, rabid womanizers. Like, they can just get someone like that. Some men have it, some people don't. I'm in the middle. I can do well, I can do poorly. But, again, you're trying to make this out that they become misogynist because they fail to form romantic partnerships. Some of them probably don't want it. Some of them probably not interested. Some of them might be gay, but you're talking about heterosexuals. So whatever. No, you do not understand. You do not know. You are asserting. You are basically getting the worst of what you've read and are spinning it as if that's the truth when it's not. Not every Asperger's person is the same, and not all of us are male. We are the majority, but not all of us are male. I mean, we're not Team Autism for nothing, are we?
It is because of these experiences that the Aspie becomes isolated, and many teens are said to be holed up in their rooms and turn to the internet for social interaction.
Arbiter of truth, tell me more. How would you know? You just read shit from other people, and it's just giving us a skewed vision and view of what the life of an Aspie is, so stop using that word and give it back. Is like. You do not know what that's like. You do not know what the vast majority of people with Asperger's live like. I don't live like that. I've not seen anything from a lot of Asperger's people that I met that are like that. Not all of them are socially isolated. A lot of people don't know they have it. A lot of people are still getting diagnosed in their late adulthood. I was lucky that I got diagnosed at like 4 or something. I can't remember. But a lot of people don't know that they have it and live perfectly normal lives. And they get married, they have children, they grow old and they die. Not everyone's like that. Some people aren't even that bad, but again, as usual, she's tried to make it out that because we turn to the internet, we suddenly go to these MRA websites and pick up artist websites to socialise, and then we end up like this. And it's just like, no, No, not at all. And not all socially awkward people have Asperger's or autism. A lot of people might have something else entirely, but whatever.
I can totally empathize with people who have Asperger's, and
No, you haven't. You have not shown that in the history of you being on YouTube and Twitter. If anything, you can't empathise with us at all because you use Spurg and all this shit as pejoratives, don't you? Don't you?
understand that it must be extremely frustrating having deep emotions, but not being able to adequately express them, or being misunderstood, or thought of as suffering from a major mental disability, when in actuality, many people with Asperger's are extremely intelligent.
But you've not treated us like that. You treated us like brainwashed individuals because we're socially inept. And you've not really provided a link to anti-feminism and Asperger's. Instead, you just talked about Asperger's and been terrible at talking about it. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
And are highly functioning people. But part of me wonders what gives with the trend in people with AS who also happen to be anti-feminists.
There is no trend. It's a coincidence that some of us are. We're still the minority. You don't even know most of us. You don't talk to us. Again, I know I'm repeating myself, but she doesn't know. She has no idea. She never talks to us. She never goes into the communities and talks to one of us. She doesn't compile a list or a survey. She doesn't know. She's just trying to insult us nicely.
Have they arrived at this opposition to feminism based out of an inability to form romantic relationships with women, or feelings of isolation?
No. They do it because they've got logical minds rather than emotional minds, and they've come to the conclusion that it's not for them. They're not doing it because of Asperger's or because they can't get romantic relationships and can't socially interact with people. I can do both those things. But I have come to this conclusion because I've done my research and I have bumped into people like you. In fact, I have fought against you, and I've now come to the conclusion that you're a vapid hate movement. That's why. I've come to this against my own conclusion. I didn't want to be. I never asked for any of this, to quote Adam Jensen. But you leave me no choice. I have to fight you now. It's personal.
This may come off as an appeal to motive, but when we are discussing the way the brain works, this seems like a significant avenue to go down when considering the hours we spend debating our opposition online.
Yeah, it's a way to insult us and to disregard our opinions, because we're retards, right?
As always, let me know what you guys think below, and please understand that this video was in no way made to single out or bully anyone.
Well, that's exactly what you do, Jenny. That's exactly what you do. Don't take these guys seriously because they're retards and they're socially inept virgins who are brainwashed by MRAs and pick-up artists and whatever. It's all the same to you, the MRM. Whatever, I'm out of here. Goodbye.